Yeah, you got to talk about some coffee. Now, Tim is not much of a coffee drinker. I enjoy my coffee, and I was so delighted that a recent study was out that actually was extolling the virtues of coffee, because sometimes, there's a new study out every day. You don't always get something good for what you like. Medical expert Dr. Russell Skinner joins us this morning. Good morning, Doctor. How are you?
Good morning. Fine. How are you?
We're good. Well, we're cold here in Memphis. It's pretty chilly here, but like Tim said, a good cup of coffee will get you nice and warm. And I guess it's okay because a new study out shows that a daily coffee habit could lead to longevity.
That's true. The most recent study here does indeed show that there was a decrease in overall death risk for those who did drink coffee.
Now, I do think it's funny when they say you got to cut yourself down. You got to stop at 5 cups a day. That goes beyond just a little habit of drinking coffee to perhaps a compulsion if you have more than 5 cups a day.
That seems to be a lot of coffee. But the other thing to remember is the size of cups of coffee that people typically drink. They kept these studies pretty regimented as to the cup size. And a lot of the coffee drinks you see people out there with probably constitute more than a cup of coffee.
Right, now I've got a grande right here. I'm thinking that's at least 16 ounces, and so that's 2 cups of coffee.
Two.
Right here in my hot little hand.
And then is it venti or venti? I never know how to... Okay, it's venti.
And that's for 20 ounces, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. That's the size above grande. And then the small is what Starbucks calls a tall. So go figure. I guess a tall is closer to 8 ounces.
So what are they... So this is a significant... Are we looking at, 10, 20% decrease in the mortality risk? I guess
it was 15%.
Okay, and we're talking premature mortality, of course. We don't know of anybody on record that hasn't died at some point in the past. I guess I don't know. Anyway,
it was 15% risk of premature death. So they look at average life expectancy. If they've got any concomitant health problems or risk factors, what that life expectancy is, get those. And did the people that drank coffee, there was 15% increased risk that they died earlier than expected.
This is Dr. Russell Skinner. Now, I guess what they don't take into account is, like you mentioned, some of the coffee drinks. If I go in and get some frou-frou latte drink with all kinds of this, that, and the other in the mix, I'm adding so many calories and a lot of sugar to my diet. If you start adding artificial sweeteners, then you've got a whole other situation going on. So I guess you got to be a little careful with your coffee selection and so that you're not causing yourself other kinds of problems.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things with, and obviously this is the first coffee study, it's one of the things that makes looking at these very difficult, because it's one thing to say, I'm sitting here today drinking a cup of coffee black, okay, that's fine. Somebody else comes in with, their, like you said, their big latte with, half and half and sugar and flavoring, and it's also, 28 ounces tall. They've got 500 calories there. That increases the risk of being overweight, and sugar isn't good for you, and on the list goes. So really you do have to kind of ferret out, are we talking benefits of coffee alone, or are we talking benefits of how the masses drink coffee? And obviously in the study it's going to be more controlled than that, so they're looking at literally just coffee. The thing I thought was really neat about this is that it didn't matter if it's decaf or not. So it really has nothing to do with the caffeine factor. It's something in coffee itself that seems to be providing benefits.
I've heard of people who drink decaffeinated coffee.
You've heard of them?
I have heard of them.
Have you seen any of these creatures
I get concerned when we have to switch pots here at the station, and someone has made regular coffee in the decaf pot. You're like, please let this be regular. So you start looking in the garbage to make sure it was a regular wrapper.
Karen runs from the one with the orange rim. She doesn't deal with that at all.
No time this time of day for it.
Hey, Dr. Russell Skinner joining us this morning. Doctor, is there, generally speaking, and not necessarily related to this survey, but is there any benefits of caffeinated over decaffeinated, just generally speaking?
Generally not. I mean, obviously it depends on what you're drinking coffee for. Caffeine does provide a stimulant effect, so it does help with obviously staying awake, staying focused. It can lift mood, provide a little extra energy first thing in the morning or in the afternoon. Somebody's an afternoon coffee drinker, but that's just due to the stimulant effect of caffeine. So is there a health benefit to that? Probably not so much that there's a health benefit, but obviously there can be some mood and activity and mental clarity benefits to that.
Now let me ask you this. It's a kind of a semi-related note. Drinking a cup of coffee black would probably be the best way to go. You got no calories in there pretty much. You need to just get your straight caffeine fix if you're drinking caffeinated coffee. Do you recommend artificial sweetener or sugar or neither?
I like a little sugar in my coffee personally. There's been so many studies here recently talking about the inflammatory effects of sugar, and that there's so much sugar in our diet. Foods that we wouldn't even expect to have sugar in them that have sugar. So overall, our nation is addicted to sugar. So I would tell people, they need to limit their sugar intake, no matter what. Artificial sweeteners, I really prefer not to put artificial sweeteners and chemicals in my body if I have a choice for that. I think if someone is, for instance, has diabetes, they really do need to watch sugar, and they just can't consume coffee or tea, for instance, without a little sweetener. Then using a more natural sweetener such as honey, or down in the south we like agave nectar. That's another natural sweetener that can be used. Has a much lower glycemic index than straight processed sugar. Artificial sweeteners like Splenda are probably the best if you're going to use an artificial sweetener, but even those I would recommend.
All right, Dr. Russell Skinner, thank you for joining us this morning. Learned a little bit about coffee this morning. A little knowledge as Karen sips over there. Thanks for joining us.
It's Karen Gulps her coffee.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Skinner.